effect. And you can see, like, you know, they're not gonna really go anywhere. The first thing I have to show is I have these sheets. They're magnetized sheets from Magnet Shop, but you can get them on a bunch of different places. These, I think, are the perfect right size to fit in one of these really good boxes. You can just stick them in the bottom. For the one that I'm doing today, I'm actually going to put them in a little bit more of a, I guess it is, but it's kind of like a nice carrying box. And I'm just going to stick it in the corner here and magnetize it and deal with the rest later. So I'm going to do that now. You see this just kind of peels off there. And then I'm going to stick it in kind of right along the edge there. And now this box has a magnetic bottom. So we'll come back to that in a little bit. The next thing you need to do is actually magnetize your minis. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. You can use green stuff, you can use other things, but I actually like hot glue. And I like it because it's efficient, it's strong, and for some of the minis, it really, like the Marvel United ones, which I'll show you later, it really helps fill some of the weird bases that they have. But let's start with a simple base. I'm gonna do, this is just a base that I got. I don't have a model on right now, but I'm gonna use it as an example. So what do we do to magnetize this base? Really going back in time, so step number one is we're gonna make sure this magnet that we have is actually magnetic. So these magnets stick around. They're not going anywhere. Then what I'm gonna do is I get my parchment paper, pull that off, and I'll put this sheet down on top. I'm gonna take a couple of these magnets. Just gonna make nice and sure that this is stuck to the top. So it's not going anywhere. We can move these in a little bit just so you can see. So it's not going anywhere. Okay. Then I will put one of these magnets in the middle. I take my example base. See how it has this little divot? I can put it right over top and I can kind of feel, oh yeah, okay, it's not gonna, that's gonna be the right size for it. It's gonna fit. Take the hot glue. I'm gonna do a nice size dollop on there. I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna press it down. And leave it there for a couple minutes. The nice thing about the baking sheet method is if you have a bunch of minis, like these turtles, you can actually do a bunch of them all at once. And so I can put a couple of different magnets around here. I'm gonna do you and you. You. I should have thought of that beforehand, but and so you don't have to wait for every single one to cool before you start on the next one. You can just goop it down, stick it on, and goop it down. So it's very efficient if you're doing batches. That's why I like the hot glue, and it dries real quick. Goop it down, and I stick it on. So it dries real quick. By the time this is all done, this one, if I need to slide it off, but you can see he's in there. He's got a nice magnet in the middle. Not going anywhere. And actually these guys are probably done pretty much already. Maybe I'll wait just a second, but see, yeah, it dries really quick and it'll keep them in place while, through kind of minimal shock. So again, this box that I got, this is what I wanted to put my turtles in. So I'm gonna put these guys in here. Throw this lava base in there just for effect. And you can see, like, you know, they're not gonna really go anywhere. If you really shake them, they might shift a little, but he's heavier too. So you can also put, if he's a heavier one, you can put a second magnet on it. If you want to make really sure that he's not going anywhere, you can put 2 magnets on. So like that's what I'll do. For some cases, I'll go back, I'll grab another magnet, I'll throw some goop on there. And you can see right away, oh yeah, this guy needs 2 magnets, but he's gonna stay level. And then when he's dry, I'll put him back in this box. While he's drying, let me talk about these Marvel United minis. So these minis are awesome, but sometimes you have these like divots in here that are really hard. There's no flat surface close to the bottom. So you can solve this a number of ways. One is you could fill it with some green stuff. That gets kind of expensive after a while. So I also, again, just like using the hot glue for this. And it's kind of a 2-step process. So let's see, he's mostly dry there. So I'm gonna throw him down here. So what I would do for him is I would take a couple of magnets, maybe 2 or 3, and I would kind of stick them on here, find kind of the edges where they're gonna be. So you want them close to the edge on him because that's where they'll have at least a chance of sticking. So I'm gonna do one there. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but I'll do one there, I'll do one here, and then kind of one floating. And so what I'll do, especially with some of these that have tricky bottoms, is I'll put a bunch of goop on there. I kind of get it on there, and then I'll pull the mini forward a little bit so you're really sure it's up flush against the edge, the shallowest part. And then we'll let that dry. And then I'll fill in the underneath it with some more hot glue. We'll get the front one on, and then he'll be good to go. Some of these minis have the opposite problem. I don't have one to show you right now, but their bases are so shallow you can't fit a magnet that size or a substantial size in there. So I've also got these really thin magnets that I don't know if I can show you, but they're like 1 millimeter thick. And you got to put a lot on there. So basically just put 5 or 6 on the base, and he's good to go. These MU minis tend to be heavier than what I've found other wargaming minis, so like Warhammer or Marvel Champions. No, not Marvel Champions. Marvel Crisis Protocol. And so let's see what he looks like. So see, now you have this, like, it's still flat, right? It's flush against this, but you now have this space here of hot glue. That actually looked pretty good. That filled it up pretty well. So I'm going to do the same thing for this third one. Make sure. Actually, I don't think he needs a third one. I think he'll be pretty good just with the 2. So the only thing that I would do in some cases, if it doesn't look like it got all the way up in here, is I'll just stick a little bit extra glue up in there and let that harden. But I think he did pretty good, actually getting up in the crevice. You still have this nice flat surface from because you're pressing down on this baking sheet. So that's the method that I've found works the best for both a bunch of minis, so you can do boom, 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 or for a United minis, which have some challenging base designs. Not all of them, but some of them. And there you go.